read Word Up magazine, and now all I do is daydream. Know what I mean? You like the perfect beat to a MPC. You inspire me, Stevie.
Work hard, play hard, homeboy, everybody ain't calling out. Got a mouthpiece from the southeast, if you want scrap, stall him out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I feel good, man, I'm balling out. I'm a rich man with a rich fam, Christ bars got me out of mama house. And I bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Big God, big grace. Big God, big grace. Big God, big grace. Big God, big grace. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Big God, big grace.
What it do, y'all? It's your partner back in the saddle again, man. Thank you so much for your time, and take that picture for your mom and them guys. And welcome to another edition of the Countermove podcast. We'll look at life from a wide perspective, kind of lean in, reason together, man, and prescribe some right solutions, guys. And again, thank you so much for your time. And I told you guys that I will be going into a business and marriage or relationship type of series, and this is one of the ones we got to get into. So before I dive into the topic for today, do me a favor, guys. If you like what you're hearing today, do me a favor and share, subscribe, and like so we can help the algorithm go up. But I think that today is going to be a pretty good topic because it's talking about relationships, guys. Typically, when it comes to business, there's also a relational component, whether it be with your spouse or significant other or in a business relationship. Today, we're going to talk about the dating scene here, guys. And I actually saw something that really I was kind of perplexed by it. I may have been late to the game concerning this topic or what actually happened, but I'm always getting that bag and loving my wife and my kids. And so when I saw this, I said, "What the hell is this?" And so what am I talking about? Well, there was a first date restaurant list where not to take a woman. Let me say it again for the folk in the back row. Someone put out a first date list, a woman, right, on where not to take a woman. And I just said, the boldness. I said, the boldness on putting that out. And so I just said, okay, let me kind of go through this real fast. But before we go through the list, guys, let's actually look at the lady that actually kind of sparked this list, so to speak, and how she was responding to going to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date. Not the gas station, right? Not McDonald's. I'm talking about not Burger King, the Cheesecake Factory. She was upset about going there on the first day. I felt sorry for the young man because she kind of went in on him a little bit. But let's look at what this is talking about and see how they actually engage, guys. And then let's kind of reason together and give me your thoughts of what you see. So let's dive into this. This is the woman. She's upset, guys, for going to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date. And this is real. This is real. So, hey, guys, let's look at it and see and react together. Let's get it in with the people. Here we go.
Got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. So you expect
So she called the Cheesecake Factory a disco. I don't know what that means, but let's keep going.
a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right? I mean, you're supposed to. Look at me. Nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right? Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. Okay. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong. I will die. It's embarrassing. Then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Yeah. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing.
Oh, he's paying for it.
We're not right for each other. But respectfully, I'm going to just drop you off at home. Oh, no, he didn't.
Wow. Well, so let's respond to this. Then we go to the list on this woman upset about going to the Cheesecake Factory. Again, not McDonald's, the Cheesecake Factory. I gotta get a good little handicap play. She's confident in how she looks. She's confident. But the she's very narcissistic. It's really about her. And I like how the guy actually kind of came back on her and said, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with Cheesecake Factory." She said, "It is." He said, "Look at me. I don't deserve going there." And he asked the question. He said, "You expect for the man to go all out on the first date. This is the first time you guys are out together going on a date, and you're wanting the man who's paying for the dinner to go all out on the first date, not the second, third, fourth, on the initial date." I mean, that's interesting. And I like what the man said. He said, "Well, I guess we're not right for one another." like real talk. And I can kind of rock with him a little bit because this don't make no damn sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, is the Cheesecake Factory my first place to take my wife? No, but to keep it 100 with you guys, the first date that I went on with my wife, I've been married for 16 years. I'll give you the first 2 dates. The first one was at the mall, right? At the mall. And the second one was at Cheddar's. We hadn't even got to the Cheesecake Factory yet. Now we graduate up to Lowry's and Three Forks, and if you're in Dallas, you know what those are, and the Reunion Tower, and those 5-star places, which is fine. But we didn't begin at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, if you want to begin at Three Forks or Cheesecake Factory, man, do your thing. But to come onto the date expecting that because of how you look, trash, straight trash. Garbage. And I like how he actually responded. He said, "I'm out. I gotta go. Peace." I love that. So, guys, let's go to this damn list. Y'all, there's a damn list. Let's go to the list, guys. Here's the list. Okay, here is the list on where not to take a woman. This is real, guys. I thought that this was not real. No, this is real. And we're gonna read it together, guys. Let's read this thing together for the folk in the back row. Here we go. Guys, here's a list. Number 1, Cheesecake Factory. This is a list on where not to take somebody, right? The Cheesecake Factory, number 1. I don't know what the hell. Number 2, Applebee's. I like Applebee's. You know what I'm talking about? I like it, Applebee's. 3, Chili's. Chipotle's on this boy. Olive Garden. Number 5, the movies. I mean, what the world? I don't know about you. I love when we went to a scary movie and my wife is up under my arm. I like that. The movies. Any fast food chain, man. I don't know. I like a Cane's here and there. You know what I'm talking about, or some Panda Express. I don't know about that. Buffalo Wild Wings on that one, like real talk. That's really a sporting place, so I can't knock that. If you guys like sports, that's a great place to go. Wingstop, I love Wingstop. Red Lobster, man, Red Lobster is the low budget bougie place. You know what I'm talking about? For real? A buffet, man, I can go for a buffet. What? IHOP? Well, IHOP it's a good breakfast spot. Denny's, breakfast spot. Okay, I got you. The gym, I don't know anybody that is taking a woman or man to a gym for a date. That's new. That's new. I can agree with that. Church, why not? Why not? Why not go to the local church? Get it in with the Lord a little bit. Well, you get in it with the Lord at the crib, but get in a corporate setting at the local church. What you talking about? Let's get it in. What? Starbucks, great place to talk. and talk about goals and dreams and visions. I like Starbucks. You know what I'm talking about? Coffee dates. I don't do a lot of coffee dates. Ice cream dates. Those are fun, especially when it's hot. What are you talking about? That's a great first date spot. What are you talking about? Family functions. Well, yeah, that one I can kind of rock with because you hadn't graduated up to that level yet. You know what I'm talking about? You got to earn the family functions. All right. Movie night, Netflix, Hulu. Yeah, that first day, no, we can't do that, doc, because we ain't got the ring on it. No, sir, no ring. You're not gonna be there, no, sir. At the crib, somewhere that requires a long drive. What? No, I disagree because I actually took my wife out for a helicopter ride. It was about a 35-minute drive to go to the helicopter ride. We flew around Dallas Fort Worth, the skyline and the downtown in the helicopter. I was more scared than she was riding the helicopter, but it was fun though. I would probably not want to say along this. No, that's okay. Bowling is fun. What are you talking about? Nightclubs? Hell no. We ain't going to a nightclub first date. No, sir. Hookah bar? I don't go to hookah bars at all. And it says a bar for just drinks. It depends on if you just want to talk and reason a little bit and see if there's a match there. You know what I'm talking about? But I disagree wholeheartedly with the lion's share of this list. I disagree with it. Real talk, guys. It don't make no damn sense. I mean, I'm not taking a date to the gym. Get the hell out of here. You ain't coming to the crib. So movie nights, that ain't happening at all, period. I don't do hookah bars. Nope. Don't like smoke at all. No, sir. What else is on here? Your house? Nope. We ain't going to your crib either. Why? You ain't got no ring on it. No, sir. No. I mean, with everything else, and no nightclubs. No, man, I ain't taking no date to no damn nightclub. What? Huh? No, not in this climate. No, sir. No, sir. But anyways, guys, now let's keep going here, guys. Let's keep going to this real fast. Here's my question I gotta ask. Why would the video that we saw of the young lady getting mad about going to Cheesecake Factory on the first date, why would someone have this type of attitude? Well, here's my reaction to that. Typically, that's somebody who comes to a relationship that actually just looking at what they can get out of a relationship and not what they can give to a relationship. So in their minds, it's a one-sided scenario, which is I consume or take and you give. Someone that actually has that mentality, run from that. But let me ask you the question. Would it be wise for you to engage with someone like that? Now, typically what's happening is a lot of the times most relationships begin just like that. Both the woman and the man are coming to the relationship from a context of what can I get out of a relationship, not what I can give. What can I get? It's one sided, and then you get the heartache and the pain and the cheating and the unfulfillment, all this stuff, because you came to a relationship with just you in mind. So how can you serve somebody if it's all about you? It's the same thing when it comes to business. A business cannot be successful, guys, unless the team is on one accord, under one vision, accomplishing the same mission. The team, not just one person. The team. It's the same thing when it comes to relationship and marriage, right? That you have to be on one accord, right? The same vision. If you're coming to the relationship from a dating standpoint, right? And it's all about what you can take, get used to being alone. Get used to being lonely because you will be lonely. And you will probably cultivate a lot of bitterness because you go from experience to experience, right? Of heartache and pain. Because your whole mentality is for what I can get, not for what I can give. Right? Man, that's my whole reaction to this whole thing as well. Now I gotta ask this question real fast. Is when it comes to you, when you're trying to find a mate, right? You're trying to find a mate. Here is the question I got to ask you then: is are you type focused or are you purpose focused? Okay, let me say it again. Are you type focused? In other words, I'm trying to find my type of mate. Or are you purpose focused? Are you saying, hey, I'm going to allow my purpose to drive me toward my mate? Which one are you? Now, how you pick these two different perspectives, it's going to point you toward heartache or peace. Real simple. Clarity or calamity. It's real simple. Chaos or peace. Depending on which one you choose. Right? I can tell you right now, the lady that was acting in that video, she's type focused because it's all about her. It's all about her. Now, let's dive into some relationship wisdom, okay? Let's bring in two guys that I admire from a relationship standpoint, and they had an exchange on what they call the people factor. They were talking specifically about relationships, right? And this is the relationship wisdom portion of the series, right? I'm not just going to complain about something. We're proven hold accountable, but we're also going to infuse in some wisdom into this as well, so we can apply some principles so that we can be successful as we are being led to our mate. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this. This is Pastor Van Moody, right? And also, let me see, where did it go? Okay, and also TD Jakes as well. But the majority of this is going to be Van Moody talking about this is because Van's background. He's a former business guy that turned into a pastor as well. Has a very successful church, and he's full of wisdom. He's talking about relationships and the type of people you should be engaging in when it comes to relationships. Here we go. Let's dive into this real fast.
You recognize, as I do, that you are a limited resource.
That's it.
You have to make peace with the fact that you're going to disappoint some people sometime.
Certainly.
If you don't make peace with that, you're going to spend the rest of your life living up to everybody's expectations but your own. In the people factor, do you think the quantity of your relationships affects the quality of relationships?
I certainly do, and I'm glad, Dad, that we had an opportunity to dive into this because
one
of the themes that runs through the length and breadth of the people factor is that there's no neutral relationships.
I love that you said that there's no neutral relationships. In other words, what that means is both the man and the woman are bringing some experience and some history into the relationship, right? Into the potential relationship. So you're bringing some form, not baggage, but just experience and history to relationships, and you're trying to figure that thing out, reason and see if there's a match, so to speak. There. Watch how you unpack this. Here we go.
Every relationship you have with anybody at any level impacts you and affects you.
It does.
The right relationships will lift you to the heights of great success,
Yes.
Sometimes success that will blow your mind and be
Yes.
beyond anything you've ever
Yes.
hoped and dreamed and
Yes.
expected, while the wrong relationships will keep you tethered to mediocrity for the rest of your days. And
that's the important thing when it comes to relationship, guys. Like I love what you said, the wrong relationships will keep you average, right? And beneath your potential. The right relationships will allow for you to soar, right? And to reach your potential, right? I think too many individuals, when it comes to relationships, don't understand their potential. So they shoot for a low bar prospect, right? They shoot for a low bar prospect because they're looking for their type, right? Type alone. When you led via type, you're probably not going to find that spouse that right relationship that could allow for you to soar if you're just looking for type, right? With the wrong context. Keep going. Let's keep going.
in many ways, what people have got to understand are that people are like elevators. The relationships they engage in are like elevators. The right people will take you up while the wrong people will take you down.
That's right.
And this is what Proverbs 13:20 teaches us, that he who walks with the wise grows wise, but a counsel of fools suffers harm. And it puts then all of the relationships in our lives in one or two categories. Either you're going to sharpen me and make me better, or you're going to be foolish and detrimentally affect my life.
So stop right there. Now we have to kind of re-examine your sphere of influence. I love what he said when those that walk with the wise. Okay. Look at your sphere of influence when it comes to not just life, but also relationships, because these are guiding your decision making. Are these influential circle of people? Are they bringing you or elevating you up or taking you down? There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground. That's why it says that. That's why the Bible says seek wise counsel. Why does it tell you to seek wise counsel? Very simple, because the wise counsel elevates your relationships up, elevates your potential up, so that you actually meet your goals, hold you accountable. Right. So let's keep going. This is good. Here we go.
And the notion of quantity versus quality is
Yeah.
significant because we live in a day that tells us that you are special, you are significant if you've got a lot of followers and a lot of friends. When you start talking about social media and the impact that it has on our understanding of relationships.
Yeah.
But when you really just strip all of that fluff away and get down to meaningful, life-changing relationships, less is more. You can't be friends with everybody.
I love that. I love that. I love in the Bible when Christ would always say this one thing. He will always say, focus on this one thing. And why would he say this one thing? Is to keep things simple. Less is more. I don't need to have a whole bunch of friends. I need a small circle of wise counsel to hold me accountable, and to push me forward, right? To correct me, but also edify me. So if you're clout chasing for followers, right, you'll always be let down every single time, because of the fact that you're not being led by a purpose. You're led by a type, or you're led by just the desire of being known more. You're not getting any wisdom. You're getting nothing but yes men. That's it. That's all you're getting. There's no correction. How do you know? How do you know that where you're going is the right thing to do? You have no clue. You don't know, because why? You have no one around you that's wise, right? If you're hanging around fools, don't be surprised if you become more foolish. It's real simple. If you're hanging around wise individuals, don't be surprised if you become more wise. It just makes sense. Let's keep going. This is getting good. Here we go.
And one of the reasons that less is more is because there's a thin line between a parasite and a friend.
Ooh, Jesus.
Oh my God, that's a quotable
My
right there.
God.
There's a thin line between a parasite and a friend. Give me that line of delineation.
Come on.
Well, the thing about it is a friend or a healthy individual in a relationship makes deposits.
Woo.
The way that God ordained relationships were that two individuals would give to the other so that none of them would be depleted.
Come on.
As I continue to pour into my wife and
Yeah.
she continues to pour into me, then I never run empty and she never runs empty.
Yes, sir.
But if you have multiple relationships with a number of different people, because you are a limited resource, you can't make deposits and add value to all of those different people. The only thing you can end up doing is taking from them, taking from them, taking from them. That's what a parasite does. A parasite leeches on you, adds no tangible value to your life, and slowly siphons and sucks the life out of you. When you've got multiple relationships, you're trying to be friends with thousands of people, you end up really being more a parasite than a friend.
Do you think that?
Man. Oh, this is good, y'all. This is so much wisdom being shared. Man, if you are clout chasing or looking just to grow in followers or friends, you will by default become a parasite. Because how we've been designed to give deposits and then get a return. Right? Relationships is like business. You invest, right? And then you get a return on an investment. We want a return without investing anything at all. So therefore you become a parasite. You just take. Why do you think the Bible talks about, when it comes to marriage, husbands love your wives like Christ loved the church, but a man is wired to receive respect. So God tells him to do the opposite of what he's been wired to do. Husbands, you love, while desiring to be respected. Now, watch this. On the wives' side, the text says, wives, submit or respect your husbands as unto the Lord. Women are wired to desire love, right? So if you look at the nuance of marriage, right? What God does is he says, I'm going to call you to do the opposite of what I've wired you to receive. So it forces you to have to invest first and then get a return on investment second, right? Most individuals, that's why we have a high divorce rate. People even get into marriage not wanting to invest or deposit first. They wanting to actually withdraw or get a return first. That doesn't make any sense from a relationship standpoint and from a business standpoint. It's very simple. If you are going into a relationship or a marriage and you wanting to receive before you give, you will not be happy. It doesn't make any sense because you have been wired, you have been designed to make deposits. That's why there's so much chaos in the world. Why? Everybody's looking for a return. They're looking for withdrawal. No one's looking to make any deposits at all. Man, this is good, man. We're almost done. Let's keep going. This is really good.
That sometimes people need everybody to love them because they don't love themselves.
Very much so. You cannot go into any relationship trying to understand worth and value. You have to know who you are and gain worth and value first before you enter into any kind of relationship.
So now he's talking about taking inventory of yourself before you even engage someone at all. Period. He's saying before you can have a successful relationship, you got to know who you are. You got to know what value that you actually bring to a relationship. So that means get yourself right first. Draw a circle around yourself. Take everybody else. Take everybody in that circle first, and then engage someone to come into the circle with you. Does that make some sense? Man, this is good. Let's go get it in.
And because if I don't know who I am, then number one, I can't add value to the relationship. And then my definition of who I am is based upon how you perceive me. And what if you perceive me in a way that's not congruent with who God says that I am and who I know that I am?
Ooh, come on.
When you find yourself in these situations, you talk about these toxic, I use the term toxic relationships that either diminish you or add value to you. Some people have a knack for hooking up with the wrong people.
Oh, here we go.
They have a degree in getting in the most toxic relationships.
I can tell you that someone that has this mentality of having a degree of choosing someone that's toxic, I can guarantee you they are pursuing that person based on type and not a purpose. That's a guarantee.
Habitually, and I think sometimes it seems like a generational curse. It
Yeah.
runs through the family. My mama did it, my grandmama did it, my auntie did it. Nobody in the family has ever modeled a healthy relationship. How do you break the trend, stop the pattern in the curse, and begin to identify positive relationships and go up the elevator instead of down?
Well, there are two significant things that has to be done. First of all, you've got to divorce yourself from this notion of loving people that are quote unquote your type.
Oh, here we go.
What you've got to do is
somebody ought to shout out for that.
Here we go.
You've got to really pursue people of purpose and not people of your type, meaning that your type may be tall, dark, and handsome, but the person that God puts in your life for purpose may be short, fat, and bald-headed.
Stop right there. That part right there ruffles some people's feathers. How many of you guys have been led on the ideology of I'm looking for my type, right? Which may be tall, dark, and handsome, right? Or tall, dark, and a great fresh edge up, right? But your purpose says he's short, slender, and bald-headed. But you're so focused on your type. And you wonder why you have 2 or 3 different divorces. And you wonder why you are bitter. And you wonder why you're not happy. And you wonder why you have no peace at all. It's because you're led by your type. Led by your type. It's real simple. It's not really hard. If you're led by a type, now, if you're led by a type ideology, get used to being alone. Get used. Don't be surprised if you become bitter. Now, let me kind of back up and say this here. Being led by purpose does not mean that you don't get your type. Let me say that again. Being led by your purpose does not mean you don't get the type. It's just what happens is when being led by purpose, what happens is this here is your purpose disqualifies the what I call the stragglers, the time wasters, those parasites. Because why? They don't meet the standard. They don't. And all of a sudden now your purpose shows you what your type truly is. And then and then what you do is you fall more in love with that purpose, which led you to the type. I think people are so focused on being type led because they're afraid of they love control, right? And they're afraid of losing the most valuable possession, which is that control, to get someone that they may not like. But it's impossible when you're led by purpose, because your purpose it is focused, it's tunnel vision, and it leads you to your type. What if you were actually led by your purpose, right? And then all of a sudden you get someone that's better than what you thought your type is. That happened to me. I'll give example real fast on me, guys. My wife, she. I remember when before I met her, I had always wanted to get married since I was 17 years old. But the Lord, I didn't get married till I think it was we've been married for 16 years. Lord, it is Lord God, I'm 44. So I was 28 when we got married. 28 when we got married. And we never, me and my wife, we never dated. We went right into courtship. Right? And we went right into courtship. I told her, I said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I am looking for a wife. Her natural response was, I'm not looking for a boyfriend, and I'm looking for a husband. We went right into courtship. Why? Visions, purpose led, right? And we began to fine tune and look at the character of us both. Things that we were concerned about, we addressed them. Things that we were not, we edified that, right? So that we can be both go up the elevator of relationship that was between her and I, right? And so, but before I got there, before I met my wife, I wrote down my type. The Lord told me, he said, write down your type. So I wrote down my type, everything from hair, skin tone, character, everything. I wrote it down. And what tripped me out is my wife checked off all those boxes and then some. She exceeded my list. Because why? I was purpose driven, not type driven. I told my wife when we were in courtship, I said, honey, you're so fine. I cannot be alone with you. Because I did not want to dishonor my Lord and do anything at all, or dishonor Christ and do anything at all before we got married. I didn't touch her before we got married. We didn't do anything before we got married at all. Because why? I didn't want to dishonor Christ. So I told her, you're too fine for me to be alone with you. And I wasn't alone with her. Too fine. And was it hard? Heck yeah, it was hard. It was very hard. But my relationship with Christ was more valuable than my desire for a physical interaction with at the time, my fiance, who's now my 16-year wife, right? We had a question on Instagram that says, who was the guest speaker? With TD Jakes. His name is Pastor Van Moody, VAN Moody. He's not done, y'all. Let's go back to it. He's going to expound a little bit more on type. He ain't done. Here we go. He said, we're almost done. Here we go.
And so what you've got to understand is that sometimes our type
It's going to be rough this morning.
Sometimes our type is not the best thing that God has for us, because this notion of what your type is sometimes comes out of our past.
Yeah.
It comes out of what the world teaches us is beautiful versus not beautiful. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with God's purpose. And so many individuals have really sacrificed their destiny on the altar of what they perceive their type to be.
Wow.
And what you've got to do is to get to your core. Who are you?
Yes.
Who has God called you to be?
Yes.
What are the values? What are the goals? What are the things that define my life?
Come on.
And then you've got to be selective.
Ooh.
You can't be friends with everybody. You know, Bishop, I call you Dad, but we went to lunch yesterday.
Now, he's gonna go into another illustration. But guys, people ask me a lot of times, LaDale, why don't you get into a lot of these discussions on social media? Why? Because I don't waste my time with low value conversations. Because time is my biggest commodity. And once I spend time, I cannot get it back. Right? I cannot get it back at all. Why? Because I am purpose focused. I'm purpose focused. I'm Christ focused, number one, loving my wife second, loving my kids third, and then I'm a businessman fourth. In that order, I am focused. When you are type led, you're not focused at all. You're scatterbrained. That's why you don't mind sleeping with a lot of people. You don't mind. And by doing that, you cultivate a habit that you didn't pass down to your kids and then to your kids and to your kids. And that's it. Man, so much good relationship wisdom here, guys. So, guys, this is called the Countermove podcast for a reason, guys. But, man, what's the Countermove? I always say, guys, peep it, sweep it, and then keep that thing. All right, here we go. Always begin here. Peep it. Examine your current situation. Now, here's the question I got to ask you. Are you dating with a you-focused mentality or a purpose-focused mentality? You got to answer that question. Are you dating with a you-focused mentality or a purpose-focused mentality? All right? How you answer that question is going to enlighten you on where to go next. Right? Let me kind of give you a little wisdom there. If you're dealing with a lot of heartache and pain, you're probably you-focused. Right? If you are not dealing with a lot of heartache and pain, but you're still trying to figure out what's going on, you typically are purpose focused. You're just living from day to day. It's that's what the Bible says. Give us today our daily bread. You're so focused upon the purpose and allow for your purpose to choose your friends, to choose your books, to choose what you watch, to choose what you listen to, and to choose your mate. Your purpose chooses everything. It makes everything so simple. All right, sweep it. What has your current relationship approach yielded you? One person answer that question is you. How's it going in the marriage, on the dating scene? How's it going? If it's going well, keep doing what you're doing. If it's not, you might have to kind of re-examine your approach, right? Because the ROI has been straight trash, most likely. All right. And then I always say, start thinking generationally, guys. All right. Your relationship goal should not end with you. It should live beyond you. Because typically, most of the times, people are wanting to get married most of the time and have children. So think 2 or 3 generations ahead of you. So if you have a desire to have kids one day, do you think it's a good idea for you to date 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people, sleep with them as well, and bring that into the marriage? Or should you really begin to be purpose focused, work on yourself first, and then begin to engage with somebody? You'll be alarmed at when you begin to get focused via the purpose, that spouse just shows up. Happened to me, and I've heard so many stories about this. Testimonies about people of how they got so razor focused on their purpose, and all of a sudden, as they're pursuing a purpose, they go to spouse. They didn't have to look; they showed up. It's real simple, guys. Well, guys, give me your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Does this make any sense at all? Period. I'm gonna do a lot more of these as well on Thursdays, relationship type of things, business and finance. I'm gonna do some business, of course, when it comes to finance, things of that nature, but I'm also gonna do a lot of relationship as well, because I get asked that question, how do you know when you met the one? And LaDale, how do you and your wife communicate? Is communication the key when it comes to relationship and marriage? We're gonna talk about all of that, guys, all of that. So, but guys, let you know, on Friday, every Friday at 5 p.m., Cliff and your partner, we do Real Estate Friday training every single Friday. It's on all platforms. It's completely free. What we do is we go over over an issues that's going financially, and how you can capitalize on that stuff as well, in real estate investing as well, guys. It's on all platforms. It's at 5 p.m. CST. Here's a little bit of a sample of it out. Here we go. What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
Guys, every Friday, 5 p.m. CST, Real Estate Friday training is free, guys. Come while you're driving home, learn a little something about finance and real estate. All right, guys, so we can begin to build lasting wealth, guys. But guys, that's all I have for today. I hope this was good for you. If you could, below, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think about it. If you want me to cover a topic, let me know, guys. But I'm gonna dive a little bit more into this business and marriage and relationships series, guys, and kind of share some wisdom that I've learned, and also that I learn every day from other people as well, guys. But guys, that's all I have for today, guys. You know I hit it every single time. Before you leave, and while you can, you see that thing, guys, take that damn picture and give it to your mom and them. Now say it with your chest and holler at your partner. See you next Thursday, guys. Peace.
Long live the king.